Hello, my name is Patty Callis, and this is my interpersonal communication project. The purpose of this project is to define what needs to be done regarding my ability to communicate effectively. Here we will discuss steps to be taken that will move me toward becoming a more effective communicator. We will explore my background and personal behavioral blend and how they've influenced my conversation. Finally, we'll define and explore some potential barriers and develop some solutions. What is enlarging my conversation? The process of enlarging the conversation will require a personal plan of action. This involves examining such aspects of personality as family background, behavioral blend, and identification of noise pollution that affects both internal and external daily conversation. My overarching goal for this project is to increase my listening skills in order to enhance conflict management. What is my personality blend? According to Carbonell, the key is understanding and recognizing where our drives usually come from. Normally, most of what we think and feel and do starts with how we're behaviorally wired. The first step in the process of identifying the personal behavioral blend was to take the DISC or DISC test. This test provides a profile based on 4 types of personality assessment: directing, inspiring, steady, or cautious. The profile offers 2 personality graphs. The first graph demonstrates the traits we think people expect from us. The second shows what traits we actually have. My personality type tested to be DIC for what people think they expect from me, and DC for what type I actually am. The profile DIC indicates what personality traits I think people expect me to have. People with this profile often are very sure of themselves. We think that others view us as strong leaders and charismatic public speakers. We have a strong desire to be successful and believe that other people want us to show them the way. We're naturally dominant, but sometimes lack the dominance to control our own selves. We think others expect us to be perfect, and this causes us to be less than humble when we fail. The profile D and C shows the personality traits I actually possess. The DC personality is very task-oriented. We are often seen as being unfriendly and insensitive and tend to be too demanding. We do not like being told what to do. The DC personality does not handle conflict well and chooses instead to ignore it. We are our own worst enemies when it comes to relationships. Now let's talk about how background influences the conversation. I come from a large Italian family of very strong women. Our family's communication style is very strong and usually emotional. Though we're strong, we don't handle conflict very well. Burley Allen explains attitudes of okayness, meaning each of us has different listening characteristics that include beliefs about oneself and others. We tend to operate in the I'm okay, you're not okay attitude, causing us to be continuously defensive. We struggle with conflict, believing that our views are right. Peterson explains my family well in his comments. While we struggle to understand ourselves, we routinely are confused by the difference between a thought and a feeling. We struggle to understand that though we are always in conflict, it is because of our love for each other that we even try. According to Stewart, to the one who is being told to do things differently, what comes through the loudest and clearest is the criticism, but the one offering the suggestions and judgments is usually focused on the caring. True to my DC personality blend, I do not like being told what to do, and I do not handle conflict well. I believe others in my family carry the same personality traits. This can often be the cause of constant conflict or struggle, or even disruption of relationships. The key to reversing this problem, I will be adhering to a specific plan that is personally designed for me. Let's look at what some of the barriers are. According to Peterson, we must win to assuage our insecurities and prove ourselves. In a conflict situation, my need to win usually takes over. We become defensive when approached with what we consider to be offensive behavior, instead of actually hearing what the talker talker's concerns are and opting to participate in a solution. The defense blocks all hearing, and our only concern becomes defending the behavior or action. Daly suggests one should begin by committing oneself to meet the challenge objectively, without defensiveness or anger. When I feel attacked, I will remember to listen to what is being said instead of wasting energy forming my defense. It is also important for me to redirect the energy in the form of restating the problem and acknowledging the talker's feelings. Barrier number 2, negative internal conversation. According to Burley Allen, we formulate beliefs early in life that later affect how we behave. These beliefs also influence how we talk to ourselves. Due to early experiences, I often label myself as a person who's not able to accomplish tasks correctly. This causes me to have a negative internal conversation. My self-concept then becomes one of not trusting myself to make the right decision. As a plan of action to overcome this barrier, I plan to be aware of the language used in my self-conversation. For example, exchanging words like always and can't and never for words like sometimes or often. I will be aware of labels I put on my feelings. For example, exchanging hurt for anger to get a better view of the actual problem. I will be aware of ineffective habits of response to the behavior of others, for example, forming an internal defense while the other is still talking. Barrier number 3, ineffective conflict management. According to Stewart, when stakes rise, our emotions kick in. The more important the discussion, the less likely we are to be on our best behavior. Since my large Italian family communicates through tough issues by yelling, conversations that are difficult usually are full of emotion and escalate rather quickly. During more casual or work-related conflict, I tend to avoid it altogether. As a plan of action to avoid this barrier, Stewart describes 5 skills in an acronym that he came up with called STATE, S-T-A-T-E. He suggests that remembering these can help when dealing with sensitive topics. Share your facts. Only deal with the actual facts. Tell your story. State your conclusions with humility and not accusations. Ask for others' paths. Encourage others to share their facts and their story as well. Talk tentatively. Use phrases like, I was wondering, and in my opinion. Encourage testing. Make others feel safe to share their feelings by inviting them to talk. In conclusion, Peterson defines a good listener as one that changes the primary focus from our own interests to that of others. By being aware of the personality blend and background that drive me, I can overcome some of these barriers and strive toward success. According to Beaverson, true listening involves opening yourself up to thoughts and opinions of other people. By keeping this in mind and following the strategies we've discussed, I will be set on the path to become a better listener.